All right, let's just jump right in. I mean, if you've had a job for more than a week, you've probably been through some kind of organizational change. A new software, a team shuffle, a big shift in strategy. It feels like it's constant, right? But here's the thing. Why do so many of these efforts feel so painful, or even worse, just completely fall flat? Today, we are opening up the playbook for actually getting it right. So let's kick things off with a number that's, well, it's pretty wild. 70%. Get this. Research consistently shows that a whopping 70% of big company-wide change initiatives just don't meet their goals. We're talking more than 2/3 fail. And it's not usually because the ideas are bad. It's because the execution, the people side of it all, completely breaks down along the way. And the fallout from that failure? Oh, it's huge. We're talking about way more than just a project going over budget. When a change initiative fails, you've torched resources, you've seriously damaged the trust your employees have in leadership, and you've made it 10 times harder to get people on board for the next big idea. It's a vicious cycle that can totally cripple a company's ability to grow. So, who's supposed to steer the ship through these choppy waters? This is where the real heroes of our story come in, your HR and your learning and development leaders. These are the folks who specialize in managing the most complicated, most critical part of any change, the human element. And what's cool is how their roles are so complementary. Think of them like a perfect tag team. HR is really focused on guiding people through the emotional journey of the transition, keeping morale up, making sure communication is crystal clear, and handling any resistance. Meanwhile, L&D is all about empowerment. They're building the new skills and the new knowledge people need to actually succeed once the change happens. So one handles the heart and the other handles the head. It's a great combo. Of course, even with the best navigators in the world, the seas can get pretty rough. Let's be honest, change is hard for a reason. There are some very common, very predictable hurdles that can trip up even the most well-thought-out plans. And here they are, the usual culprits. Not enough support from the top, really bad communication, a culture that just refuses to budge, and of course, that plain old fear of the unknown. And my personal favorite, change fatigue, when everyone is just so exhausted by constant changes that they just can't bring themselves to care about the new one. As you look at these, think about a change you've lived through. Do any of these sound familiar? I'm willing to bet they do. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, we know the stakes are high, and we've seen all the common ways things go wrong. So how do we actually win? Well, it's not magic, it's a process. We're gonna walk through a really practical 6-step playbook that acts like a roadmap to get you from where you are now to where you wanna be successfully. So here's the high-level map of our journey. It's pretty straightforward. First, you assess and define. Then you build support, develop a plan, communicate the vision, implement and empower, and finally, you monitor and sustain. See how each one builds on the last? That's what creates a solid foundation for a change that actually sticks around. Okay, step 1. This is so important. The first rule of change is that you can't start by talking about how. You have to start with what and why. Before you announce a single thing, you have to build a rock-solid case for the change. What's the problem we're trying to solve here? What does success actually look like? This isn't about fuzzy ideas. It's about using hard data and real insights to create a clear, compelling reason for why staying put just isn't an option anymore. Step 2 is all about people. Change is absolutely a team sport. A single leader, no matter how passionate, cannot make it happen alone. You need a powerful coalition. That means getting an active executive sponsor who can clear roadblocks, building a team with people from different departments to get all the right perspectives, and finding those influential employees who can be your champions on the ground. And hey, don't ignore the skeptics. Talking to them and understanding their worries can be one of the smartest things you do. All right, step 3 is creating your game plan. And the core of a real plan isn't just a list of deadlines. It's about proactively answering the key questions before they become problems. Who needs to know what, and when are we telling them? What new skills do people need, and how are we going to teach them? And maybe most importantly, what could go wrong here, and what's our backup plan? Thinking about this stuff up front is what turns potential chaos into a controlled process. This brings us to step 4, communicate the vision. Just look at this example. It's perfect, right? It's clear, it's simple, and it directly answers that all-important question everyone has. What's in it for me? Well, in this case, it's better work-life balance. It also gives a concrete timeline. This is the kind of powerful message that cuts through all the noise and helps people actually get excited about the destination. So when we get to implementation in step 5, it really all comes down to one simple phrase. Leaders have to walk the talk. Your employees have incredibly sensitive hypocrisy detectors, I'm telling you. If you roll out a new collaboration tool, but all the execs are still sending emails the old way, that change is dead on arrival. The behavior of your leaders is the most powerful signal you have that this change is real and it's here to stay. And that leads us to our final step, monitor and sustain. Here's the thing, launching the change isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. You have to keep track of progress to see if the new way of doing things is actually sticking. This chart, for example, it shows the adoption of a new system over a few months. Seeing that number climb from 35% all the way up to 90% proves the change is working and it's delivering value. That helps reinforce the whole effort and lets you celebrate the win. You know, following this playbook isn't just about surviving one project. The real prize, the ultimate goal here, is to build something much more powerful and lasting. An organization that is fundamentally ready for change. A place that doesn't fear evolution, but actually thrives on it. And this is what that looks like. A change-ready culture, it's an environment where change isn't seen as this scary, painful disruption. It's just a natural part of doing business. It's all built on a foundation of trust, really open communication, and a true commitment to always be learning. When your employees know they'll be supported through transitions, they stop resisting and they start contributing. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your workplace built just to last, to kind of maintain the status quo and keep things steady? Or is it truly built to change, to adapt and thrive no matter what the future throws at it? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to define its success.